Looking ahead to kind of training camp and things start to ramp up, what is a position battle that kind of has your attention and that you're kind of like highly anticipating being able to see once things get a little more lively at practices?
Yeah, I think number one for me is the second cornerback job is I'm really eager to see Emmanuel Mosley out there and what he can do. Like I could tell he's eager to get out there too. But between him and Jerry Jacobs for that second spot, I think is going to be again a strength for strength battle and a kind of a thing where it's like no matter who wins, we all win because you got
Hmm.
a talented guy who doesn't win that job, and he probably will still play a fair amount, and you can feel pretty confident in him filling in an injury situation as well. In terms of other starting jobs, I don't know if there's really literally anything else. Like maybe this Christian Covington, Isaiah Bugs things becomes a thing, but I don't really think it
Can I
will. I
can I
think
throw one out to you?
yeah,
Uh, Opposite edge of Aiden, I think
yeah,
is another one that I'm very interested in because I think you can make an argument for at least four guys. I really do
that's
think,
yeah, that's fair.
between Romeo, Charles Harris, James Houston, and it's I don't know what it is, but I just have something in like deep in my heart where I'm just like, I want to see Josh Pascal get like a real opportunity
Yeah,
to win the starting job. And it's just like that's something I just kind of can't wait to see kind of play out.
yeah. Here's the thing though. I think with that, like with a lot of it's just going to be the defensive line in general. Is like we're going to not have to pay too much attention to quote unquote starters because there's going
Hmm.
to be so many sub packages, so much rotation that like Romeo's going to get a shot to be out there a bunch. James Houston's going to be out there a bunch. Josh Pascal's going to be out there a bunch. John Kaminsky's going to be out there a bunch. Who did I forget? Charles Harris is going to be out there a bunch.
Yeah.
A lot of them are going to get a lot of snaps, and I almost feel like when we get to the end of the season, it's going to be like, okay, Aiden Hutchinson probably played like 70% of the snaps. Everyone else probably played like 40 to 50%. Like just continually rotating these guys. And that, I mean, that in and of itself is worthwhile, right? Like you're keeping the offensive line off balance because every other play you got someone else in front of them, and you're
Yeah.
keeping the defenders fresh where the offensive linemen are getting tired. And so I don't I guess I don't want to make too much of who's the exact starter, but at the same time, like yeah, you do want to know like who's at the top of the totem pole there. Who are they going to pair with Aiden on the opposite side most when Aiden is out there? I think God, I think maybe Romeo's the leader out of the gate there, but again, like I feel like they love all those guys so much. They they ask these guys, Charles Harrison and Romeo, to take pay cuts to stay here rather than just cutting them outright. So they clearly value those guys. They didn't want them to
Hmm.
go. Um, so yeah, I think everyone's going to get plenty of opportunity even when the season comes around. But there will be some tricky decisions on like who is, on a gotta have it down. Like who are you going to put out there? And that's a good point. Like I don't know if there is an established number two edge guy.
And that fact alone is one of the reasons why I think it was last week I kind of pitched the idea of like maybe you go out and get a Yannick Ngakoue because like I don't know if it's so close where it's like none of these guys are necessarily starter quality, they're all really good rotational guys.
Yeah,
I'm a huge proponent of you have the capital to go out and get a Yannick Ngakoue. So at least you have a guy for sure that you can go out there and pair up with Aiden on most downs and distances.
sure.
And then, yeah, obviously you can scale back either of their snap counts based on matchups, based on just how a game is going. And you're
Yeah.
just like, hey, we have the depth though to go four deep on both sides of our edge rushers.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely a fair point. Like if you don't have a clear number two, then the argument is you don't have a number two, right? Like
Yeah, like go out there, get the dude that has 19 sacks in 2 years. Like that's
yeah,
to me is like go get that guy.
sure. Yeah.
um what it, I'm gonna kind of poke fun at you a little bit, but where's your level of intrigue in the kicker battle?
It's higher than I lead on. Like there I mean it's an important position. As much as I make fun of special teams, I certainly enjoy a kicker battle more than a punter battle because punters are a sign of we have failed. Kickers are a sign of hey, we're putting points on the board.
Except when
Um
Jack Fox is throwing it on fourth down. Then
true.
it's then
Yes.
then it's something different.
So I value throwing ability in my punters more than anything. But no, like it's interesting because the one thing I have personally craved is a long ball kicker, is a guy that if you're down 2 points with 20 seconds left in the game and you're getting the ball back, I want a guy who can still give us an opportunity to win the game if we only gain 30 yards, right? Like
Mhm.
rather than gaining 50, I want a guy that gives us a chance at 30, because we've seen games be decided in those final 20. If you gain possession with 20 seconds left and it's a one score game, the game is not over. It didn't
Mhm.
used to be like that. And so whether the Chiefs Bills game is obviously the one that comes to mind the most, but either way, like a long ball kicker is important. And I know you can't get like hyper focused on that. Like Parker Romo is a perfect example, right? Like he comes
Yeah.
out last week in OTAs, just bomb after bomb after bomb, and then today he goes 3 for 5,
Yeah.
and misses a couple badly, and so you're like, okay, well, you had me all excited there for a second, but if you can't make your 30s to 40s, like the long ball doesn't matter, like
Yeah.
because you're going to be kicking more from 30 and 40. You just like those end of game winning champ, and to me, like again, the reason why those long ball kickers are important to me is like once once we're talking about the Lions going to the next level, we're talking about most games between very good teams do come down to the end of the game. Like
Yeah.
when you're playing the Chiefs in the opening night, like if you're a good competitive football team, you're not going to blow the Chiefs out. They're going to be
No.
in it at the end. If you want to be in it at the end and you are in it again, it's certainly nice to have a weapon that saves you 20 yards of field position that you need to get at the end of the game. So there's intrigue there. It's not my most exciting camp battle, but there's intrigue there, and the fact that there's three of them is also just like a weird kind of twist to this kicker battle. But I'll be paying attention. I'll be taking my notes.
Well, no, like, trust me, like, Parker Romo did the same to me, like, I definitely turned my head when I was like, "Wait, 60? He hit from." Well, now okay, well, now you have my attention, sir, like, now I
Yeah,
have to pay attention every time that there's an observation because I need to know how consistent you are, or is this another Austin Seibert situation where,
right,
like, he's hitting the long balls, but then, like, we get into regular season and, like, you can't hit the consistent regular,
right.
types of kicks. I don't know. Maybe we get. I don't know if this would be lucky or whatever, but I mean, the Lions just put in a rule change to be able to carry like a third quarterback on the act. Like maybe we can get something put in the rules where like you're able to carry like a specialist, a special specialist who's just like
It's
all
just your
he
long
is
ball field
yeah,
goal.
just the long ball kicker. Like you literally will never see him probably except for like before halftime and at the end of games, but he's there if you need him.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I'm not going to be advocating for special teams rules to get an extra guy on the roster, but listen, I admire that idea. It's out of the box thinking.
That's all I try to do is offer something that's a little, not as
Sure.
talked about.